Welcome back to Balance Basketball Academy, everybody, and for those of you who have been living under a rock, Austin Reaves is really, really good at basketball, and I wanted to take a look at how he got so good at basketball. I've been following the Lakers ever since LeBron has joined the team, which is quite some time ago, now that I think of it, and I have watched Reaves since his rookie season, and I would like to do some comparison of where he started and where he is now, how he got from this scrappy, undrafted player to basically one of the best guards in the league, and the similarities he's had and the skill development he's had over that course of time. Now, obviously, I can't cover hundreds of games, and I'm not a machine like that. But I do have 4 games that I want to look at: 2 games from his rookie season, 2 games from this season, and we can compare and contrast what Reaves looks like when he's playing with star players, when he's playing by himself, in both situations, and what he brings to the table. I'm really excited about this one, guys, so give it a like, give it a subscribe, and let's get into the video. Just to start, this first game is Reaves' rookie season. This is December 15th against the Dallas Mavericks. At this point in time, this is a game in which we have Anthony Davis on the team, Russell Westbrook on the team, LeBron on the team, and Carmelo Anthony on the team. 2 very ball-dominant players that Reaves has to find a way to work within. And I think that this is a particularly interesting game because he's able to find his role in a very solid way, and frankly, I think this is one of the games where he really solidified his spot. So watch his box out right here. You're going to find this to be a common thing, right? He does not get the rebound, okay? But he is one of those players that will continuously fight for the rebound. And I'm gonna pull up several examples as we go through this video. But Reaves is the guy who is going to go after these scrappy little rebounds. And most of the time, he's not going to get it. But sometimes that effort leads to another player getting the board, or his defender not getting the rebound. And that's kind of what, makes it sufficient enough. But he is a hustler. So there's another example right there. Reaves spaces out here. That's nice, cool. LeBron shoots this shot right here, this 3. And the only person to crash is Reaves. Everybody else starts to run back. Not to say that everybody needs to crash, because in the NBA, the game moves so fast that if everybody crashes for the board, it can open you up for a fast break layup on the other end if you're the, now defensive team. But he's the only one who actually tries and, doesn't get the ball, doesn't get the tip or the steal. But, it's one of those that you kind of have to keep trying, kind of have to keep throwing darts at the wall, and eventually you're going to hit something. It's just an effort play, and it's interesting to watch. So this is a good play right here. You're going to notice that the Lakers put a decent amount of... They'll throw a couple of plays towards Reaves' way in order for him to make a play, and he hits those moments really well, meaning he's given an opportunity and he takes it. This is the kind of thing I'm talking about. Reaves is here to set this screen, right? He slips. The reason why he slips is he recognizes that his man is sticking with LeBron, and so he slips and heads this way. That is more of an intelligence thing, and also that LeBron doesn't have a lot of real estate that way, so he's like, okay, I need to slip and get out of here because this is too crowded. So he hits that slip. LeBron's been doubled. Reaves gets the catch. Now we have a 2-on-1. This is really smart right here, because this double team player is coming from here to basically get back to Davis, and Reaves at this point in his career is not looking for his shot. And that's something that will change, and we'll see this. But he notices, I've got this guy cutting down to the rim. His name is Anthony Davis. That normally is a layup. In this case, it's not, but it's still the right play. It is absolutely the right play. He makes that play quick. He doesn't hold on to the ball longer than he needs. And obviously, doesn't end up in the bucket that they want it to. But Reaves recognizes, okay, they're going to double LeBron. Me, as the smaller fish, can kind of slip and get away and make a play. This is how I'm going to do it. This is an offensive foul call, but I also want to bring up this play as well, because there's a lot of small plays that would get lost in a condensed game, and this is important, right? look at Reaves. So Reaves now recognizes I don't have numbers. I'm going to pull back. I have a guy on me. That's Hardaway. And Kleba is on Davis. A player who's trying to make a play would force a pass to Anthony Davis at this point. He is not trying to do that. There's a level of level-headedness that Reaves has to not force this pass, to not force this play at all. And it's you know, again, he's going to pass it out to Russ to let Russ probably start the offense. There's an offensive foul here. You know, that's neither here nor there. That's not Reaves' fault. But Reaves isn't trying to just shovel the pass in there as hard as he can, even though Davis is looking for that one-on-one post-up in the fast break, which would be the right play in theory, but if it's not there, he's not going to force it, which is great. Russell Westbrook wants to drive. Russell Westbrook always wants to drive. You can see that he's in attack mode right here. Russ is trying to get, you know, the paint to either find an opening or he's going to pass it out. It would be dumb for Reaves to try and cut into the paint this way, because Russ is also going this way, so it's just going to end up being clogged. You don't want to do that. Instead, he decides to float at the three-point line. He recognizes there's 4 bodies around Russ. He keeps his hands up. He's ready for the catch and shoot, and he's wide open. He's left wide open. Why? Because, you know, there's a bigger threat on the floor, that being Russell Westbrook at this point in time. And so Reaves is like, I know what Russ is going to do. I am not going to encroach on that space, but I'm going to get myself in the position for a good shot. Move off ball. It's very subtle, but it works really well. Gets him a 3. This is just a smart little heads-up play. This little play is really smart. Watch Reaves right here. Boom. Okay. So Davis makes that skip pass. Reaves cuts. Reaves recognizes that there's a double team, and now they're switching it to the weak side. Now there are 2 players on one guy where the ball's not anywhere near anymore, because the ball, when you pass it, is always going to move faster than the player will. So now the ball's over here, right? Reaves cuts in this way. This guy has to come out and guard the ball, okay? Hardaway now is guarding 1 and 2 people. Physically impossible, right? Especially when you're on that weak side. And because Reaves cuts, he draws Hardaway's attention, because now Reaves is a threat. If Hardaway stands out here, that's a layup for Reaves. But he has to acknowledge Reaves. He has to respect him. So, because of this cut, there's an opening. Yes, the shot is missed, but it's because he did something heads up and moved off of the ball. Boom, right here. That's an open 3. Ellington just misses it. But it's because Reaves made that little heads-up play that could just go unnoticed that shot even happened. So Reaves is dribbling the ball up right here, and you're going to see that the Mavericks smell some blood in the water, so they bring some pressure past half court. And boom. Okay. So this ends up in a foul. Reaves does not make this sort of mistake anymore. Now, it's not to say that he had bad handles at this point in his career, but he does make some key mistakes. So the defender is basically guiding him to go towards the middle. And, you know, you don't always want to do what the defense is telling you to do, but the defense is saying, go middle. And Reaves decides to cross over and go to the sideline. Not great. And it's not to say you can't go to the sideline. You can. But it is a lot more limiting as to how far you can go without, you know, dribbling the ball out of bounds or losing the ball entirely. So when he gets this ball, he crosses over here, and he goes immediately to the coffin corner. Not great. He's able to pull back, and he's guarding the ball pretty well, but he doesn't guard it as well as he does now, where he really does put his body between, you know, the defender, his body, the ball. Here, it's a little bit more blurred. That ball is a little bit more exposed, and the defender is still trying to reach. Then he doesn't hold it strong enough to hold on to it, and he turns the ball over and fouls. This right here is not representative of Reaves being a bad dribbler, but not being strong enough with the ball and not handling pressure properly. So this game right here is against the Denver Nuggets, the last game of the 2021-2022 season. This is the last game of Reaves and his rookie season, at least for the regular season goes. There is no LeBron, no AD, no Russell Westbrook, no Jokic, and no Jamal Murray in this game. Okay, so this is a game of the scrubs, essentially. This is a game of a lot of different players just trying to shoot their shot and do something cool in April. And so Reaves is given a very unique opportunity here to operate as Austin Reaves, the sole best player of this team. And what does he do with it? Let's take a look. You're going to notice this. Reaves has had this instinct ever since his rookie season. If he has a big man on him, he knows he can beat that big man in off the dribble, right? Side to side, he can beat that big man. And he sees Cousins, and he's like, okay, Wendell Gabriel does not have this post up. Okay, Gabriel is right here. Boom, he does not have this post up. He's not, frankly, pushing Austin Rivers high enough to be able to get this lob over the top. I'm going to try not to be mean to Wendell Gabriel, but Reaves recognizes that. He does not force the pass. But he does see, I have DeMarcus Cousins on me. I can beat this man side to side. That's exactly what I'm going to do. So, he drives, crosses over, resets, drives again. Draws two, makes a great pass out to Johnson in the corner. And then he chases down the rebound and gets his own shot. This guy's scrappy. He knows how to be able to, find his shot. He knows how to play to his strengths. His strengths are his ball handling. They're his speed, and there's his ability to sell his fakes. He can do those three things really, really well, and he uses two of those quite well against DeMarcus Cousins, ends up with a bucket. So, nowadays, for those of you who watch a lot of Reaves, if you aren't, you should be. Reaves with the screen and roll situation. Gets the screen, gets the switch. Stanley does not roll at all, really. He doesn't really even pop. But this video is not about Stanley, and I'm not going to crap on him for that one, okay? He comes into this shot right here. Reaves today would never shoot this shot. No, he wouldn't. What he would do is he would hit a step back, and he would shoot from here instead, because this is the worst shot in basketball. I've been told this before, and I'm at the point where I firmly believe it myself. The one step in from the three-point line is the worst shot in basketball, because the longest shot you can take for 2 points. Why would you do that, And I'm not anti-mid-range. That's not what I'm trying to say. But at this point in his career, Reaves would hit that little step back, boom, boom, and right into his shot. Right now, I don't know if he has that in his bag at this point, or if he feels comfortable doing that, so he pulls into this mid-range shot, and he misses. Doesn't get as much space as he wants, and frankly, again, is shooting a shot that, even if he made it, would be worth far less than what it could be, considering his abilities now. Reaves notices, I got 31 seconds left. 2 for 1's probably not going to happen, so he's just going to score here. He drives, right? His offhand is not all that active. On the step back, normally if he were to do that step back today, and he wanted to get a shot off, that step back would involve him pulling back and then taking an extra step. Similar to like a James Harden step back, but he only just pulls back. His offhand is not active enough, and because of that, he's getting messed with when he is trying to fend off the defender, right? Watch his offhand. So it's a little active, it's working, but he's still getting distracted. He finally makes a good crossover because the defense overcommits. Great. Now, tries to dunk it on Jeff Green. Reaves would not do that today. It's not to say that he can't dunk anymore. That is not at all what I'm implying. But the way that Reaves plays basketball now is he is looking to not only get the foul, but make the shot. And he has a very elite level of core strength and balance where he will hit you with some kind of up and under, some kind of pump fake, where he'll get the contact, and then he locks in and he hits the shot. Doing something like this, trying to dunk on people, is not Reaves playing to his strengths. It's Reaves playing to other people's strengths. Reaves is never the most athletic guy on the court. He is never. And it's not to say that he's unathletic. He's very fast, and he can jump pretty well. But he is not the guy who's going to jump out of the gym and dunk on you. And so for him to, go for this highlight play is really nice, but it's a very rookie mistake. Whereas now he's going to be a lot more thoughtful about how he's going to get to the rim and how he can get a three-point play out of this instead of 2 free throws. Yeah. So here is Reaves running off the screen again. My light just died in the background. I don't care. We're going to keep going. We got a lot more to get through. Okay, so Reaves at the screen with Wendell Gabriel. He's got this drop coverage that's all the way down here. So we got drop coverage all the way down here. Reaves is coming off this way. If you're Reaves, this is a step back 3 now. you can tell he is not looking for his shot in the way that he does now. That's a shot. That's a shot. He doesn't shoot it, right? He's the open man, but he's looking for somebody else, right? And he pulls back, and then Monk gets fouled. But the difference between Reaves now and the Reaves in the past is just his level of aggression, because this is an easy bucket. He can step right in this. This isn't even a step back, this is a pull-up three. But he doesn't do it because his priority is to look for the roll. Always the roll, and not for his own shot. And that's something we will see change. Really nice hanging layup from Reaves. Again, this is him playing to his strengths. So this is overtime. Reaves gets that nice crossover. You reach, I teach. Drive, drive, drive. Makes contact with the defender. Snakes in front of him. Great. Now he goes into the lane. He's not trying to dunk on you, but he is going to hang for that layup and make that bucket. He is really good at keeping himself in the air and then making that layup the last possible second. That is Reaves playing to his strengths. That is Reaves that we see today. And let's get into present-day Austin Reaves. Now we're at the point in Reaves' career in which Reaves has LeBron and Luka on this team. But he has firmly established himself as probably the secondary point guard of this team. And he gets started right away. Boom. Watch this. This is the benefit of playing with two really elite players, one of them being Luka Doncic at this point in his career. Holy cow, Luka. They immediately bring a double up to Luka. Dumb. Dumb. LeBron being LeBron, it recognizes there's a wide open guy, and that's the benefit of being the guy who is second, maybe third on the scouting report. This is the kind of advantages he has when there's other players on the floor that the team is more concerned about. So, Reaves is handling a little bit of half-court pressure right there. Look at how smoothly he gets into this, right? Picks up this ball right here. And the first thing he does is he just does the classic Magic Johnson, just backing people down the court. He puts himself, his body, between himself, from the defender and the ball. So he's making this nice little cushion, right? He recognizes where the play is going to be run. He's waiting for Luka to get off of the screen from Ayton. But he is not trying to face up and do like all these crossover moves. He does the simplest thing possible. He's turning, yes, his back to some of the floor, but in order to run the play and just to do this in the easiest, simplest way possible without expending a ton of energy, that is how he's handling pressure nowadays. You also notice he still crashes for the boards. Even still, at this point in his career. Even though he's a star and he's a big deal, right? He's still gonna crash for boards. Right? He's the guy who's running in hard, right? Obviously, Hayes is already there, but Reaves is running in hard and actually gets this board right here. And I think they end up retaining the possession. Nope, they get a foul. So, again, he's not above that. He's not above this hustle factor. That is not something that he's grown out of or anything. He still hustles. He still is fighting for those little things. He may not be the most athletic guy on the floor, but you can control how much effort you're going to put in, and that's a lot of times what defense and certainly rebounding is. Yeah. Okay, Reaves is smart. He recognized this in his rookie season. He recognizes this now. It's the same play as that Dallas play 5 years ago, 4 years ago, okay? Here's Reaves and LeBron. They're going to play this cute little two-man game right here. This poor guy in the middle is just really rough, right? Because the Dallas Mavericks probably have on the scouting report, we want to double LeBron, or we want to double Luka. And Reaves is not that priority, and Reaves recognizes that, so he gets himself a shot because he's smart. Reaves doesn't run away. Reaves stays in the vicinity so he can get this pass, because as soon as this guy commits to the double, Reaves is like, yeah, okay, give me a shot. Boom. Hit that. Reaves knows that this guy's just itching to double. That's why he stays. He keeps enough space that that guy can't guard too, but he's not running away from the play just to give LeBron an ISO. He wants the shot, and he gets that right there. It's a heads-up kind of thing. Look at that. Yep. That's Reaves for you right now. Reaves is one of those guys that is getting a lot craftier with each and every season. And he's looking for his shot. He's in a pick and roll with LeBron James. This is LeBron freaking James, man. Like, this is a big deal. This is the guy. And he's like, no, I'm going after my shot because the drop coverage is weak and Klay Thompson's behind me. He gives the Klay Thompson that bump, right? Klay gets his way back in front of him. Reaves spins, fakes, gets that contact, and shoots the shot. He is so much more aggressive at seeking out contact on his terms, right? He's not trying to dunk on you, but he's trying to just give you that little bump so then he can shoot his shot. Doesn't make it on this one, but there's a lot of times where he does. Look at that. Wonderful. Protects that ball really well. Reaves also is the first to make the contact here. He comes in, boom, there's the bump. Gets into the defender first. The first person to make the contact wins, because that's the person who's going to have control of the possession. Bumps, wonderful pump fake, and gets into it. He's very solid with that. He just knows how to use his body to just give a little bump, a little move, a little shove here, and then he just gets that extra little bit of space. It's super slight, and it's one of those things that players of pretty much any level can do. So, this is the difference in what Reaves does now as well. Reaves is also looking for the foul off of the three. Cooper Flagg's a rookie. He's a very good rookie, but he's still a rookie. He recognizes Cooper Flagg's probably going to be too tight to me, so I'm going to pull up really soon after the screen. I'm going to lean back into it, kind of sell that contact a little bit. Doesn't get the foul call, but that is the difference of what he's doing right now. He is getting a little bit more smart about how he's trying to pursue his shots. He is looking for that foul call. Whenever he can get it, he's going to try and sell it. Whether or not you can say that's ethical hoops or not, that's not the point. In this case, he's good enough that he can make it even while he's doing his, his little bit of an acting gig. That's something that he's doing now that he was not doing in his rookie season, because he recognizes I can still make these shots, and I'm actually well known enough I can get these sort of calls. This is what Reaves can do now. That is the kind of three-point shooting that Reaves is capable of. That step-back three right off of the screen. We just talked about this in the Denver game. He wasn't able to do it then. He wasn't looking for that then. He's not looking for the roll here. He's getting past, watching his defense, and let's say that this had been cut off and Davis had really stepped up on the drop. Then he's looking at Ayton. But right now, he says, I got that step back. I'm in rhythm. Boom. He has gone from somebody who can just shoot, catch and shoot really well, to somebody who can now shoot off of the dribble really, really well, and off of that step back really well, and still remain on balance. Not to say he didn't hit pull-up threes and that sort of thing in his rookie season, but it has become a lot more part of his, shot-making diet than it was 4 years ago. Reaves. See, Reaves is not just attacking big men anymore. He's also attacking the guards, because he can beat anybody side to side. What he'll get is he'll drive. He did the same thing with Cousins. He'll drive, he'll pull back. He'll read you, then he makes a move. Drive, pull back. Read, boom. I'm going to make that move, get past you, and with that scoop layup. That scoop layup was not something he had 4 years ago. It is something he has now. Because that play 4 years ago, maybe he still gets by Thompson, right? Maybe he does, right? He does this pullback, so on and so forth. Boom. But this play might be a pass in the past, right? Because he might think that this is too tough of a shot for him. Nowadays, he has the confidence and the ability to get that inside angle and score that layup. Now we're taking a look at Reaves' most recent game. As of this recording, of course, this is December 4th of 2025 against the Raptors. No Luka Doncic. He is out of this game because he is celebrating the birth of his second child, which congrats to Luka, of course. But now Reaves is likely the number one guy on the scouting report. LeBron is in this game. LeBron does not play particularly well in this game. He does have, the game-winning assist. That's really great. But LeBron does go, I think, 4 for 17. So if you're the Raptors, especially as this game continues, maybe not the way it starts, Reaves is becoming the number one guy in your scouting report. How does this change the way he plays? Let's take a look. So they start this game off. Reaves does not have the ball in his hands. They give it to LeBron. LeBron's going to operate as the point guard. The first play of the game is for Austin Reaves. Oh my gosh, how the tables have turned. And he hits that three right off the step back. This is a big difference. Reaves is at this point in his career where they are running the first play of the game, which is typically for the player you want to get going the fastest. So it sometimes is for your best player, sometimes it's for your second best player. But to be the second best player on the Lakers, even at the bare minimum, is incredible. What a skyrocketed change that has been for Reaves. And look at this. LeBron's defaulting to Austin Reaves as the point guard. Then Reaves makes that wonderful pass. Boom. He's at that point where the greatest player of all time is trusting Reaves to make the right play. And then he does it immediately afterwards. Let's take a look at his offhand usage in this play. Look at this. He's fighting with that offhand. Swiping away, swiping away. Wonderful bump right there. Makes the great play. It makes me so happy that Reaves can play at this caliber now, where he is so confident with his offhand to be able to keep the defense's hands at bay, to be able to protect the ball with his body, and to be able to utilize those bumps. You don't have to be particularly strong to be able to get somebody off their mark just a little bit. You just have to hit them at the right point in time, and, like I said, the first player to make contact wins. Let's look at this replay right here, right? Here's the bump. This is, just look at that. Gets that little bump, the defender's off balance. Now, he has enough space because of that bump. This player is back here instead of in his grill with his hands up. The drop coverage comes high, or the help side comes high, and then he can make this pass to Ayton. This is beautiful basketball, and it's all because he's doing the little things. He's doing these little simple plays that open him up to make these excellent plays and to reward his big men and that sort of thing. Because he's learned how to keep the defense at bay at a way that he can manage where he's level-headed the whole time and he's not freaking out about how he can just hold his own. Here's some half-court pressure. Reaves is just backing up, backing in. He's not trying to hit you with a crossover. He's not trying to cross you up. He's protecting the ball with his body and with his hands. And then he's able to run the play from there. So much different than the pressure that we've seen him handle before. Look at him. He's just right here. He's keeping that hand out, extended. You can't touch me. Back up. Same thing right there. Very active with that offhand. Super underrated skills to be able to use your offhand the way that he does right there. Great stuff. There's that bump again. Great stuff. So, he recognizes this big man is a lot, he's got a lot more size than I do. He's going to come in, hit him with that crossover. Here's the bump. First one to make the contact wins. I'm going to keep repeating it until it gets in your head because it's so important. Bump. That guy has to back up a little bit, but that's not an offensive foul. Like, the guy's bigger than you. He didn't fall over. He's moving. You're like, you can get away with it. There's things you can get away with. And pulls up for that nice little floater. Very soft touch. Wonderful stuff. Playing to his strengths, again. Playing to his speed, and doing one of the age-old tactics that I have talked about on this channel so many times before. Look at his shoulders. He's so much lower than the defense, keeping that shoulder really low. The one with the lower shoulders wins. Obviously, I'm not saying you need to fold over, like, touch your toes, but the one who's the lower man wins. He is the lower man. He gets by, scoops in for that layup. Beautiful stuff, right? Utilizing his speed, utilizing his body control, and getting himself a quick bucket in semi-transition, really. Great stuff from Reaves, something that a less aggressive Reaves may not do. Those are a couple of plays that I wanted to point out from Austin Reaves over the course of his 4 years so far. He's been doing so well for the Lakers. He's been so excellent, and I feel like it's unfair not to talk about how well he's been playing and his progress. Where he's come from, the things he's learned, the kind of things that you can see, the little glimpses of his game that appear so frequently now, and where that came from and how he got to where he got. I think there's something very impressive about the way that Reaves has utilized himself initially in his rookie seasons as somebody who could move off of the ball, who could find shots and not force things in very natural ways as a rookie. And as he's gotten better and better and gotten more and more leeway, that aggression has gone up. His ability to create his own shot has gone up. And frankly, it's kind of a remarkable thing to watch. He's kind of in the point where he's an NBA 2K player, like he's a my player, where he's just rapidly progressing in ways that seem impossible, but it's happening right before our eyes, and it's really, really cool to watch. I think he'll definitely be an all-star this season with the way that he's tracking so far, and you know, his ability to play with Luka really well and without Luka really, really well is something that I think is just nothing short of remarkable. So, Austin Reaves, if you're not watching him, you should be. This guy's really good at basketball, and he's very fun to watch, and he does a lot of things that players of any level can do. He is not blowing you away with his athleticism. He's not blowing you away with just this elite, untouchable skill. He's somebody who has crafted his game over the course of many years, and I hope that's evident in this video right here. Thank you guys so much for making it this far. If you have made it this far, please like, subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, and it really helps out the channel, get me out of the algorithm pit. But for now, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I will see you